All right, you guys, White Sterling here, and the other day I sold my vacuum. All it was doing was collecting dust. I know that's all I got. Cheesy, but to avoid you being in the dust when buying properties, you'll want to stay tuned because I'm going to go into the 5 common mistakes that people make on buying their first deal. And this is by far the top cardinal sin, which is making a emotional decision and throwing logic out of the window and just overlooking all of the red flags with the property and the deal and looking for reasons why to buy versus reasons why not to buy. It's the same thing as you're going out there looking for that special someone and you find them very attractive and you're like, okay, this is the one. You'll do the same thing. You'll overlook all of the red flags that they have as a way to still make that work. And that's where you'll end up getting yourself in trouble. And then in the future, when everything comes up, you're like, oh man, I remember all of that was at the beginning. So avoid it now. All right, and this is using rules of thumb. I made this mistake myself. There's the 1% rule.
Can you feel the tension in the air right now?
Which is if you're all into a property with your rehab as well as your purchase price, $100,000, the rent, 1% of that is $1,000. However, this does not take in consideration the properties in the flood zone. Your insurance is going to be higher, or let's say in the particular county is the property taxes are higher. So it doesn't take all these factors in consideration. And when you're using rules of thumb, that's exactly what they are. There's something that you can use on the front end, but you actually have to thoroughly run your numbers to really understand what is your actual return on investment and not buy a deal just based upon rules of thumb. Ask me how I know. I made this mistake myself. And now tied into that, same one is not running the numbers at all. Yes, unfortunately, people do make this mistake and not understanding, okay, if I invest this much, this is going to be my return as far as on the cash flow. So the cash on cash. And then when I resell the property, this is going to be my profit as well. They just look at it and say that, okay, this is the rules of thumb. This looks like a pretty good deal. And that's where you could end up getting yourself caught, because many investors that I've spoken with that made a similar mistake is they actually bought the deal and then they ended up biting them in the ass at a later point. All right, so I'm going to go there on this, and it's okay because I came from here, which is buying in the hood.
Oh no, he didn't.
It looks good on paper. Trust me, it looks great on paper, but the actual execution and translating to real life is not the case. And if it is, the risk versus reward is just not all there, because you've got high crime, you've got quite a bit of turnover out of there, especially if they have kids. So and if you're out of state and you're also buying this, is that really increases your risk because you're having to rely even more on the property management company. I've bought properties in these settings, very just a handful, and it was an absolute nightmare. I remember one property, as soon as the tenants moved out, someone came in. No, actually, I've got another story. I remember walking, it was me, my business partner, as well as our contractor, was going into the property, and we heard someone downstairs, and they were actually sawing for the copper that was there, the pipes, and then they ran out the back door. So that's what you'll get, vandalism in those types of settings. And lastly is trying to do it all on your own. Right from the jump, I realized that it is a team sport, and it just increases risk when you're trying to do all of the moving pieces that is involved in. You could overlook something that could really end up affecting the actual deal once you buy it, and you're not able to go back and say, hey, title company, can I reduce the purchase price or go back to the seller? No, once you've bought it, that's it. So just be sure to learn from others' mistakes mistakes, because I've seen it time and time again. People do the same ones over. I do it too. I'm human just like everyone else. But as soon as I hear a mistake from someone else, I look to jot it down. And when I hear multiple people say it, I say, okay, that's something I definitely have to avoid. So I appreciate you all so much. Go ahead and comment below if there's been a mistake that you may have made, just to share that with others so they can avoid it too. So I appreciate you. Keep being awesome. Hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you.